guest tonight is from the Eastbourne under 85s. His name is Hami Love. He has been a loyal servant to the Eastbourne Rugby Club, and he is our guest tonight for the show today. Hami, thank you for coming on the Huddy Hui. Tell us about the game against Upper Hutt on the weekend. Upper Hutt, of course, you lost them in the final last year. They went undefeated, and you didn't just beat Upper Hutt on the weekend. You well and truly smashed them.
Yeah, cheers guys for having me. It was a good result. It probably wasn't reflective of Upper Hutt as a team. They've lost a few key players, and they were a bit of a wounded squad on the weekend. But to finally get one over them was good, because they've had our number for a few years. We've got a pretty strong squad this year, so to get that result was pretty good. Take home a couple of cups. We've got the Centurion Cup and the new the Real Steel Cup that's played between Upper Hutt and Eastbourne every time we play. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll come back a lot stronger in the second round.
Tell us when you became involved with the Eastbourne 85s.
I knew you'd ask this. I should have done a bit of research. It's been a long time. I've been in and out for a while. Maybe, maybe about 12 years ago. A few of us went out there and joined up with a few group of mates. Joined the squad, and then I went overseas, played a bit for Petone for their reserves, Prem reserves and senior thirds teams, and then came back to Eastbourne. But this stint is probably about 8 years since my daughter was born. I went back there, and I've been playing about 8 years consistently up until now.
What was your playing background prior to Eastbourne?
I've jumped around a bit. So I played for a few different clubs. So with Colts, I think I was Upper Hutt, and then Hutt Old Boys, and then played Petone for a few years. And then, after that, I played Petone. They had 85s. I jumped in there, and then went to Eastbourne and bounced around. What's
the appeal of the 85 division?
For someone of my stature, it's a bit easier to recover after a game. It's quicker. It's a lot quicker game, and for someone like me, I like that speed and enjoy the quick ball from the rucks. And no matter who you are, if you make a break, you're going to get chased down by someone. I think for what you've seen recently is there's a lot of guys who do play at that premier level that maybe can't commit as much. So 85s, while it's still competitive, it is quite social. And the trainings, we train once a week. And if you can't make it due to family or work commitments, we understand. So it's not, you don't have that pressure of that premier level. And for some of the guys coming out of school, obviously coming straight from school and running straight up against some of these 120 kilo boys is not the most enthralling prospect. So it's great for them to kind of ease into that senior rugby.
And where do you play, and how would you describe your approach to the game?
I play halfback, and probably pretty helter-skelter. I'm running all over the place, and don't like to pass for a halfback, so probably not ideal. But yeah, I like to play a quick game, like to get the boys rolling, like to play exciting rugby, so give our boys as much of a chance as possible to have a crack.
Eastbourne this year bring up 100 years as a club. It's a special year for the club in particular. So tell us what is being planned to celebrate the centenary at Eastbourne this year.
Yeah, we've got a big centenary weekend celebration on Queen's birthday weekend. So we've got on Friday, we've got, I think they're calling it the Captain's Run. We've got Sumo Stevenson coming out and emceeing. We've got a few guest speakers coming along. And the band, it won't be too big, because the following day we've got our old timers and a few games going on. And then after that, we'll have a similar thing. We'll have a sit-down dinner. I think Sumo's emceeing again. And again, we're going to have some guest speakers from the union and some old players come back. And no, it should be good. It's a big year for the club. And pretty exciting time.
Who are some of the key personalities that have helped you at the club?
There's been a few, and that's why I've stuck around Eastbourne so long. It's a really old school feel club. There's a lot of old timers out there that have come to all our games. It's a really community-based club, and there's a lot of people. But probably the key people, obviously, Barry Gordon, who won Coach of the Year last year. Bears, he's been there for years, ever since I've been there. we've got Willie Davis, who's the manager. He's also been there. I think he was part of the first 85s team out there, and he's been involved ever since. You got the Houston family. All the Houstons have been involved, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of old timers, and some of them passed recently that have always supported us and always given their all to the club.
Tell us about the Rodfather. I understand he was over 50 when he was playing for Eastbourne.
Yeah, there's you have to be careful what you say about the Rodfather. He's a bit of a we won't talk about his age because although he is an Aussie, we'll get back to him. No, he's another legend who just kept playing, and 50, and he could run rings around some of the young boys coming in. And it gives someone like me who's getting a bit on in age a bit of hope that I can carry on for a few more years. But there's a few legends like that in the club. Dan Hewson, he's not at that age yet, but he's played over 300 games. And they just they make the club what it is. And hopefully the Rodfather can make it back for old timers.
It seems that the national emphasis on the 85 kilo division has strengthened your club as well. Yeah,
I think we've seen a few guys come back and a few new guys get involved after seeing what happened with the National Cup last year and the excitement that it brought. It was a pretty cool opportunity for the club to get a few road trips in and, to play at Sky Stadium. It's, once in a lifetime for a lot of people. So, I think it's helped us in recruitment.
You've got a few key players that have come to the club this year, including Jack Coles, of course, who's been a Petone stalwart for a number of years, particularly in the Premier and Premier Reserve, and he's a great player to have in your side. Also, tell us about the after match as well at the club rooms, because there's quite a unique spot where the after matches speeches are presented on.
Yeah. Well, Jack Coles, I think he was originally Eastbourne. Just I'll put that in there. He played 85s as a young fella, and then he went to Petone and then came back. But again, so he's coaching Wellington College, so he can't really commit to that Premier level. So he's come back. But in terms of our speeches, we're right on the waterfront. So one of the best club rooms to kind of be at on a nice day. In a howling southerly, it's not that nice, but right on the waterfront at Eastbourne, and the speeches overlooking Ward Island. So it's a beautiful spot.
One of the interesting challenges of this grade must be the huge gap in ages and personalities in the team. How do you reconcile the teenagers with blokes like yourself who've got real jobs and children and responsibilities?
It's a good mix, I think. We let the young boys get up to mischief and cause trouble after the game, where we go home to the families. And I think you need that youth and enthusiasm in there. But the teams that have always done well always have a few older heads that kind of calm it down throughout the. It's probably the same at any level, but in 85s particularly, you always have a couple of older guys that have been around for a while in the team, and they help kind of guide it a little bit.
You talked about Jack Ross. Tell us about some of the other personalities in your team that we can watch out for on the Huddy Sports broadcast on Saturday.
Jack Coles. I don't think we got Jack Ross. So Jack Coles. We've got there's quite a few key players. One of the guys that's been around a long time is Cole O'Connor. He always runs pretty hard. We've got Jamie Fever at first five, and he controls the game well. We got Jared Kahu's kind of, again, he can't commit 100%, so he's come in and he's involved as well. And the skill he brings to the back line is a huge help. In the forward pack, we've got a huge amount of guys. We've got a few new guys come in. So a guy, Tom Gilbert, I think it is, looks pretty solid. James Nind, and some of the old boys coming back like Todd Hanson, and obviously Jack Coles and Zaid. I could go on a list that don't want to single anyone out, but there's we've got quite a few new guys coming in, some of the old boys kind of coming back, which is helping with the squad.
In Western Suburbs on Saturday at your home ground, what do you expect to see from Western Suburbs on Saturday?
It's hard to know. That kind of bit of our bogey team. Sometimes we struggled against them last year, but looking at the results, they may be struggling a bit. So you never know until you kind of turn up and see how we play.
Well, Hami, thank you very much for coming on the Huddy Hui for today, and all the best for Saturday. We'll see you down there.
No worries. Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Well, Adam, it was a fantastic interview, getting an insight into the Eastbourne club. Of course, they've only got the one senior side, the 85s, and we're out there on Saturday broadcasting the game.
Really looking forward to going out to Eastbourne. I don't think I've ever watched rugby at Eastbourne before, because often their 85 side clashes with the Premier fixtures, but we've made an editorial decision to go and watch some different rugby, and Eastbourne worthy of the attention because they knocked over Upper Hutt last Saturday 39-7. Now, to put that result in context, Upper Hutt won the division last year undefeated and beat Eastbourne 30-14 in the final, and so Eastbourne making a significant statement at the beginning of 2021.
And of course, they've recruited very well Eastbourne this season. Of course, we've never been to Short Park, Adam, out there in Eastbourne. Really looking forward to it. It's as a referee, it was the only place in Wellington I never refereed at, so I'm really looking forward to going out there this weekend.
Absolutely, and that game kicks off at 2:45, and tomorrow we have a treat for you. St Bede's College are in town, the Christchurch School touring Wellington, and on Tuesday they had a thrilling 37-all draw with St Pat's Town. At midday tomorrow they play St Patrick's College Silverstream, and that game is live on Huddy Sports at midday. And that game between Town and St Bede's the other day was a real cracker. St Pat's Town scored first, and then St Bede's led by as much as 34-23, dropped the ball over the try line with about 15 minutes to go. Had they secured that chance, it was curtains for Town, who rallied very hard. And Jeremiah Collins, the cousin of Jerry Collins, was in rampaging form. He set up what ended up being a penalty try, and then at the end, Cameron Burgess, the second 5'8", kicked a conversion from the sideline. And if you're familiar with Evans Bay Park, he had to remove the corner flag and just about stand on the roof of the opposing house. It was a brilliant kick by Cam Burgess.
Of course, St Bede's, of course, get to keep the silver, including the Holly Shield. Interesting story about that. It came into, re-emerged in existence in 2016. It was found underneath a priest's bed, and it was resurrected, redone. It used to be contested between Town and St Bede's, and then Silverstream during the 1930s. But then, because of the World War II, the shield disappeared, and then it was found in St Bede's, and then the St Pat's Old Boys Association spent $2,000 on it to get it back up to scratch. And now it's the Ranfurly Shield of the Marist Fathers Schools, and it's on the line tomorrow against Silverstream and St Bede's.
And St Bede's are a top quality side. They were third in the Christchurch Championship last year. The eighth place side in Christchurch last year won 8 games and beat the champion St Andrews College. So very strong competition in the Garden City. St Bede's 5-time winners of what's called the UC Championship. Since 2001, they've produced a number of top players over the years, including Elliot Dixon, their most recent All Black. So St Bede's against St Pat's Silverstream, well worth a watch from midday.
From midday tomorrow, watch that game. It'll be a fantastic match indeed. We're going to finish off our show tonight with the game that was played yesterday at the Hutt Recreational Ground, which was between the Auckland Police and the Wellington Police. They also play for something of the equivalent of the Ranfurly Shield and police rugby. It's called the Police Challenge Cup. I went down there and streamed the game. And before the game, we caught up with the 2 captains, and we're also going to show you some highlights from the game. So enjoy. Well, we're here at the Hutt Recreational Ground for the annual police match between the Wellington Police and the Auckland Police. They are playing here for the Challenge Cup. Of course, it's the Ranfurly Shield of police rugby here in New Zealand. It's been going since 1937. Wellington were the first to win it, and Auckland have had quite a large dominant, particularly between 2010 and 2016. I've got the captains of both sides here today. Alex, you were the holders. You beat Hawke's Bay in 2019. How's the team looking for today?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. We've got a lot of good players, a few fresh faces as well that haven't played police rugby before. Yeah, it should be a good game.
And the weather, it's a stunning Wellington day here compared to 6 o'clock in the morning. It was pouring down with rain, and good weather and a fantastic field to play on.
Yeah, we were maybe hoping for a bit more rain to get the Aucklanders out of their groove, but it should be good.
And of course, this trophy here means a lot for you guys as the police. You're often on the streets controlling the crowds, and it's always good to have a bit of time off and play some footy.
Yeah, definitely. It's awesome to get games like this in. This is the first time since I've been around that we've had a game out of tournament. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Alex, and all the best for today's game, and hopefully it's a Wellington win. And we're here with Max, the Auckland captain. Max, Auckland's come down with a pretty strong team today.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a good hit out last year against Wakatipu, went down to Queenstown for a trip and got some good footy in last season, and then hoping to bring our A game to the Wellington boys today.
And Auckland's had a pretty good history of late with this trophy. Of course, we were looking at it before. It was about 2014 or 2016 you guys last had it, and you had it for a period of time. It was a period of dominance for the Auckland Police over the rest of the country.
Yeah, there was a period of dominance. We're looking to bring that back and take the Challenge Cup back home where it belongs, to Tamaki Makaurau.
And who are the players that the viewers or people watching this game today should look out for in the Auckland team?
Oh, there's a few scattered around. I'm not going to let out any trade secrets before the game, but the guys will just have to keep their eyes peeled and wait and see.
Well, Alex, all the best for today's game. Cheers. And may Auckland go well. New Zealand Police Challenge Cup is the Ranfurly Shield of police rugby. It was first played in 1937, and Wellington Police were their inaugural winners back then in 1937. Auckland has had the stranglehold on the cup for quite a long time, and they had a very good period of time between 2010 and 2016 where they held on for the trophy all that time. Wellington, Canterbury, Southern, Bay of Plenty, Hawke's Bay and the Waikato have managed over the years to win the title, and in 2019 Wellington took it off Hawke's Bay as Wellington go for the charging ball. They're 2 metres away from the try line as they bundle over. The ball on the ground. And referee Monique Daly has awarded a try to Wellington. And so the score now, 7 points to 5. Auckland in the lead by 2 with the conversion to come. Yes, the conversion attempt is being lined up here. It's a gorgeous day here in Lower Hutt at the Hutt Recreational Ground. We're broadcasting from the Eagle's Nest as the conversion just travels in front of the post. So the conversion is unsuccessful. Wellington 5, Auckland 7. Brosnahan out to Narlam. Narlam made an aggressive tackle by Wellington. The Wellington defence holding up. Brosnahan out to Api, and Api, big charge. Has been brought down. A strong tackle by Rutherford. Wrapping around him. And here's a big break here by Auckland, and they sail through. And that is Paulie again. Paulie's got 2. Auckland only 3 metres away. Make that 2. The Wellington defence is holding up well. It's a bit loose around the edges out wide. They found a gap in. Paulie's got 3. 3 tries. Well, it's a bit of a skip and fumble there, but Auckland managed to pick it back, and Henry with a good break. Henry has got 2 players to support him. He could go all the way here. He bounces off Wilson. He scores. That is a fantastic run there by Kingsley Henry. Travelled 50 metres down the far touchline on the artificial turf side of the Hutt Recreational Ground. Auckland get to the work. Here's Paulie, the hat-trick's try scorer. It's a good offload to Henry, and Henry gives it out to jersey 24. Hugh James to the fence is holding on tight. We're 3 minutes past 40 minutes, and here's a try for Auckland. Jersey 18, Dan Ross goes over. The score now is 36 points to 5. With Paulie's conversion is successful. So at half time, Auckland are leading the Wellington Police Force 38 points to 5. Wellington inside the 22. Cam Cross taps it quickly again. Gives it off to jersey 22, Dave Isaiah. They're a metre short of the Auckland try line. They reach over and score. Dave Isaiah scores for Wellington early on. And Wellington start the second half off in better fashion. 38 points to 10 with the conversion to come. That's a hell of a lot better by Wellington. Managed to unleash their backs here. Here's Bernard. He gets off 1. He gets off 2. He's got a bit of space. Can he go all the way? He's been in a strong tackle there by jersey 25, Leo Inegliko. Auckland still have the ball. They're 2 metres away from the try line. Cheston playing halfback. Wide pass over the top to jersey 19. And he gives it out to the fullback who passes it over to jersey number 4. It's on the field. Wilson. It's a good run here by Bull Craig. Can Bull Craig go over the way? No, it's been knocked down by the Wellington player. That is jersey 24, Churchwood. And that's a penalty try. And justifiably so, because there was plenty of space between that player and the try line. And Churchwood might find himself maybe spending some time in the sin bin here, because that was a pretty deliberate act. The worthy penalty try. As the yellow card has been given. And so Wellington down to 14. Well, it was just a matter of time, I think, trying to find who the person was that got yellow carded. Auckland, their pod system has gone very well. And they're being very good with the ball in hand. Beckham gives the ball out to Wilson. Wilson gives it out to Salala. And here we go. Here's a storming run here by Bronson Bernard. And Bernard gives it off to Paulie. Can he get 4 in the game? He could get 4 in the game. He is going to get 4 in the game. No, he's just been tapped around the ankles. But he has got 4. Mounsey, it's a high pass over the top to Rutherford. Rutherford gives off to Morrissey. Morrissey gets round 1. This is a try for Wellington. Jordan Clark scores Wellington's 3rd try. Since having to go back and tidy it up. Bernard gives it off to Beckham. Beckham kicks it through. Here's Paulie. Paulie gets round 1, gets round 2, and it's a good pass out to the fullback, Silali, and that's another assist by Tapu Paulie. He's involved in 2 or 3 assists today, as well as 4 tries. And it's now 60 points to 21. And the Challenge Cup trophy is well and truly going back up to Auckland. Tough game at fullback today. Game has been well controlled by Monique Daly. She's done a fantastic job, and she's one of the best female referees going around in Wellington at the moment. Here's Clark with the kick. Here's Parata following up. He's done very well. Can he get round? No, he can't get round the Auckland defender. He manages to offload it to his fellow Wellington player, who looks for options. Can he reach out and score? He can! Fantastic try by Wellington. That is Dave Isaiah in jersey 22. The conversion is successful. Bull Craig gives it off to the quadruple try scorer. Paulie, 4 tries today, two assists. Be my man of the match for the game. He's been outstanding today. So knock on there by Wellington, and that is full time. And the Challenge Cup is returning to Auckland. Wellington's 2-year reign on the trophy has come to an end, and Auckland have won it in a dazzling display in fashion. 62 points to 28.